Carl, what doesn't annoy you? That's the question, really.
No, I'm not going to sit here and... different things annoy me. But I don't just go about getting annoyed.
Seems
Stuff
like
happens. No. Stuff happens.
What's annoyed you this week?
I mean, I tend to get annoyed when people around me get annoyed. I'm never the one who's going in somewhere getting annoyed. I'm quite happy-go-lucky, me.
You're having a laugh.
I'm not.
That's rubbish.
There
is nothing about... No one would ever say that.
No one...
How would you describe Carl Pilkington?
Oh, he's happy-go-lucky. Whenever I see him, he's skipping along, whistling a tune.
I whistle a lot, I've told you. I'm
Yeah,
always
only to
whistling.
annoy people when you're playing Scrabble.
No, I just... At the end of the day, I think the problem is, most of the day, I'm on my own.
Right.
Right? I'm doing DIY at home. I'm quite happy. No one's there annoying me.
Right.
I go for my lunch later than everyone else, so I don't have to see people.
He's like Quasimodo. Isn't he? It's like
Why?
coming down when everyone else is not there.
No one's around.
Yeah.
Suzanne!
No, but then that's the problem. Suzanne then comes home. She's been sort of with people, so she comes in with loads of energy, and I'm going, just slow down. Stop going on. Then she's breaking stuff, and that's probably the last
What do
thing.
you mean she's breaking?
She's heavy-handed with all the stuff I've been fixing. She broke the shutters. What else did she break?
Well, you
the
could
other
have
day?
done a good job.
I did do a good
The
job.
shutters? Where do you live? In the Old West?
What do you mean the shutters?
Some shutters on a window. She heavy-handed with them.
I don't want them to see me. What a mum.
So what else has she broken?
She's always breaking stuff. The light switch outside. Heavy-handed. She forces things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it or how hard you pull it. Just tell me if it doesn't work and I'll sort it. That's what I do these days. I'm like a caretaker to Suzanne's house. I'm wandering around replacing stuff that she's fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear. So she annoys you. She comes home. You've had a lovely day of peace on your own.
So the only person that likes you and talks to you annoys you.
And when you're at home doing your DIY, I want to picture that scene.
Okay, right. We've never done this before, right? But let's do a typical day. We've known each other now. How long have we known Carl? Nearly 10 years.
Feels like a long time,
right?
yeah.
So, let's do a typical day in the life of Carl Pilkington.
So, for my first question is, what time does Suzanne have to wake up? Does that annoy you? Does she have to get up earlier than you?
Because she's got a proper job.
The alarm goes off.
What time?
About 7.
That seems early.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now.
Okay.
At the
Now, you
moment,
spring out of bed, make her a cup of tea, do you?
no.
Right.
I let her get up, mess about.
By mess about, you mean get ready for work,
Yeah.
right?
She's not being quiet, so I'm awake now. Right?
What do you mean she's not being quiet?
Well, she's just banging about, like I say, heavy-handed. I don't know how she does it. It's just doors and stuff. Everything seems like the Hulk's in the house. Bounding about. Just don't be heavy-handed with it. Even like pulling the curtains shut and stuff. Because it's not her who has to fix it. Do you know what I mean? When she's yanking at them and pulling them open, it's like, just pull them like that. I've put them on a nice rail. Just pull them slowly like that.
Right.
It's things like that.
This sounds like these jobs aren't done correctly.
That's what
They
I'm
are
thinking.
done proper.
No, because if you get if you get a bad pair of jeans and someone says, "Oh, you've ripped it," a good pair of jeans, they won't rip, boy.
No, just look after it. It doesn't matter if you've got good genes or poor genes. Treat them the same. Look after your stuff. I've always been like that.
I know,
I've
yeah.
told you, from a young age, I didn't like people sitting on my bed after I'd made it. It was like, I've gone to the trouble, I've made it, there's no creases in it, don't sit on it. There's a chair there, use the chair.
Okay,
Um,
that's mental, but yeah.
it's not mental.
It's the behaviour of a
It's not
psychopath.
mental.
Yeah.
So, Suzanne's
she's
fashion
got-
about the place.
So the doors, I mean, what's up with the doors? Do they squeak, or is the
No.
catch been done wrongly on them,
No.
or
No,
is it the
hasn't.
wrong
No.
wood or something?
No, just heavy-handed.
No. Right, okay.
So then, she has a shower.
right.
If I have a shower, I like to go second, because I've got the Mr. Muscle spray that she doesn't do properly.
Right.
Do you breakfast together?
Just sit on the bed, have some...
Have you made the bed yet?
yeah, it's made.
Well, don't sit on the bed if it's made.
No,
madness.
I've
Sit on
calmed
the
down
chair.
now, I've calmed down, that's what I've said to her. As I'm getting older,
Yeah.
I'm easing a bit.
Yeah, you're like Doris Day.
So sit on the bed, look
Why
out
are you
the
having
window.
breakfast not sat on the bed? That doesn't
Yeah,
make sense to
doesn't
me.
make sense
Either
to me.
have breakfast in bed,
Just 'cause
classic,
the
or
radio-
at the kitchen table.
The radio's in there, and it's just kind of.
So you get up, make breakfast, and go back and sit on the bed because the radio's
What's
in
going
there.
on with the crumbs, Rick?
I don't know what the crumbs are doing,
the
but I don't
crumbs
know why
all
they've
over-
got two
Crumbs.
radios.
Hang on, you don't know what I'm having. I'm having cornflakes. No crumbs with cornflakes.
No, but
then.
So you're having, two of you are sat there. Are you sat on opposite sides of the bed looking at each other, or are you both sat on the sides of the bed
sat-
looking at the wall, listening to the radio, eating a bowl of cornflakes?
Yeah.
well,
Relax.
are you sort of cross-legged on the bed, or your legs are down on the
Just
floor?
down on the floor.
Right.
Fully clothed now, you've had the showers.
Might have a t-shirt on and my undies.
Okay.
I haven't put my socks on yet. I don't like socks. I'd put them on last.
Why don't you like socks?
They just cut off your freedom.
I don't know how socks can cut off anything.
It's alright if your feet are cold, they're nice to put on, but I don't know, my socks are never that well fitting, so I don't really enjoy
But
wearing
won't you
them.
get socks that fit
You
you?
get the
I
right
never buy
size.
socks, do
They
I?
should
Let
be the
other
same
people-
size as your shoes.
Yeah,
little
I let
rule.
other people buy them for me, and they're never quite right.
But hold on though, this is a rule you've imposed on yourself.
I'm only telling you because you've asked. I didn't come in here moaning about it. I'm
Socks
just saying,
cut off your freedom. Never heard that before.
Okay. Mandela said it.
Well, yeah, never heard socks compared to the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, I think William Wallace said it as well. Right.
Yeah, imagine that in Braveheart. Just takes his socks off and goes,
Yeah.
freedom!
Yeah.
Anyway, then I'll say, right, on your way to work, take the bin bag out.
Right.
She'll do that, and then I get on with whatever I've got to do that day.
Little kiss on the cheek, on the
But
forehead.
why do you say
Pat on the head.
who pats who on the head?
I'll just sort of rub the back of her head. There you go, see you later.
Then what? You're there, you got your pants on, you got your t-shirt on,
Well,
you've
you
had
listen
your
to the
cornflakes.
news, you listen to what's being said on the radio, we'll have a little discussion about it. Sometimes she's in the mood for it, sometimes she'll go, don't worry about it.
Right, what would she say that to then? What would you worry about if you heard on the news?
I heard something about worms getting teeth,
Right?
and she was kind of going, you know, you're not meant to worry about this news story, there's wars going on, stuff, you never listen to them.
Do you remember the story of the worms with the teeth? Should we be alarmed ourselves? What was the information?
It was just saying how, it was all about nature versus nurture thing,
Right?
and saying how worms that are growing up in a family where there's loads of food around,
What do you mean growing up in a family?
just a family of worms in the soil,
Right.
they're going through the soil. If there's loads of food for everyone, and they don't have to fight for food,
Right.
they're quite happy, they don't have teeth. The ones, like the rougher worms, where there's not enough, it's like a massive family, that kids left, right and centre, but they haven't got the nutrients to feed them all. They fight against each other, and the ones, they're growing teeth now.
I didn't hear the news story, so I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think it was about a worm being maybe more working class and chavvy, though. With like big families, look at that, they're a big family, can't even feed them all. And then you got middle class worms going, well, we've got enough food for everyone because we haven't overbred.
You know what people are like now? They've got researchers watching all sorts of stuff,
Right.
keeping their eye on everything. When you don't have to worry about it. A worm with teeth, if they've got teeth or not, to me it is not a problem. Not a problem at all. I normally save a worm if I see one.
So,
In the rain, on a pavement. If I see it there, I go, someone's going to stand on that, and I chuck it, and I sort of watch it for a bit, see which way it was going, give it an helping hand.
see which way it was going, like it had an aim.
Well,
See
they do.
which,
No, they do though, don't they? They're always going somewhere.
yeah.
He was going to the dentist.
You can't tell. You don't know which end its head's on.
Do you check that it's got teeth first? Because there's some crunchy food or there's some soft food.
Like I said, it doesn't concern me, but I listen to it because it's on the radio.
Okay, so it's 8:05. Suzanne's gone out. You've rubbed the back of her head. She's took the rubbish out. You're there. Pants, t-shirt,
No socks.
no socks yet. What happens to the bowls of ex cornflakes? Where do they go? Have you got?
I wash up.
You wash up. That's the next thing you do, is it? Right. Okay.
Now then, do you plan ahead for the day? Do you think to yourself, Carl, make a list of stuff to do, or do you just let it go?
I let it happen. I
just let
don't
it happen.
like the worst thing for me is planning.
Yeah.
I've told you before.
Yeah.
You don't get anything done by planning, is
I
what you said.
don't like the idea of waking up going, I've got to do that today, because that's when you don't look forward to doing the thing.
Yep.
Whereas I get up, I'm washing up, I'll look at a wall and I'll go, those tiles aren't very good, I'm going to rip them off. So,
Jesus Christ. This is amazing. This is amazing. I mean, forget Idiot Abroad. Forget the Ricky Gervais show. Let's just have 24/7 Carl Cam. Just, think how that would look. He gets up, Suzanne leaves. We get him to, you know, he looks at a wall.
He
we go,
starts tearing the tiles off. It looks like the behaviour of a psychopath, doesn't it?
oh, so
Are there handles on
So
the
you-
inside of your house?
this is what worries me though. The fact that you're always doing DIY suggests that you didn't do a good job in the first place.
No,
Steve, am I
I'm
wrong?
never. I
sound exactly right,
never
mate.
ever do the same thing twice.
No,
Once
we
it's
know.
done, it's done. I do it right. I take my time. I get it done
So
right.
this is other people's workmanship that you're undoing and doing
Definitely.
properly. Okay, right.
Now, the radio's in the bedroom, so you can't listen to the radio when you're doing your work.
I normally drag it through.
You drag it through. How big is it?
No, it's just a little clock radio thing.
So it's plugged in. It's
plug it in, yeah.
okay.
Then
Well, hang on a minute. Let's go back, because presumably you've dismantled the tiles. You've got to pop down and get all your supplies, haven't you, from B&Q or somewhere?
well, I went to home base. Might have a walk there if the weather's nice.
Yeah.
25-minute walk. That's all right.
25 minutes, a bit of a jaunt, though, because you've got to carry all the stuff back, haven't you?
Depends what I'm buying. If I'm
Right.
just buying a tub of adhesive,
Yep.
I can handle that. It's if you're getting heavier stuff.
What do you do in that case?
Drive.
Okay, get the motor.
Yeah. But
Now,
I don't
are you-
like shifting that because you lose your parking
Now,
space.
do you put
Doesn't like
on...
moving the car because he loses his parking space. So don't use the car for fear of losing the parking space.
Yeah.
Not if I can help it.
Now, question. When you go to Homebase or B&Q or some sort of tile shop or a lumber yard, do you affect a more working class accent like I've heard Steve talking to his carpenters?
I always do that, yeah.
I don't have to talk to anyone. I know exactly what I'm getting. Straight in there. I know the layout. I've been in there plenty of times. I might have a bit of a browse whilst I'm there. I like looking at different tools.
So if it wasn't for meeting up with me and Steve and Suzanne being home between, I don't know, 6 o'clock at night and 8 the next morning, you wouldn't talk to anyone, would you?
Do you have any friends that you might talk to?
Yeah, I talk to some people on the phone. But then I soon get bored with that.
Right.
About 5 minutes in, I realise I'm not listening anymore.
Who's the last person? You have to name names, but just give a generic name. So who's the last? Who's a
What's the point of that?
old schoolmate, or is it someone you've met more recently? Showbiz
Someone
pal?
more recently.
Right.
And, it's fine at the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, that's good.
So what were you talking about that you got bored about?
I can't remember because I got bored with
Yeah.
it. And I'm normally... You see, the thing is, these days, people haven't got your proper attention, have they? Because it's a mobile, so you can carry on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I was ripping old raw plugs out of the wall,
Jesus.
and he was talking, and I kind of thought, I hope he doesn't say, what do you think of that in a minute, because I wasn't listening.
Right.
So what's the point of having the conversation?
I don't know.
But hold on, I call you up. It's presumably the first phone call you get. It's the first phone call I
Sometimes.
make. I call you up and I go, "What's going on, boy?" Right?
Yeah, but most of the time I don't tell you, because you'll go, right, what you doing DIY? Pay someone to do it. And we have to have all that, every day, the same chat. If I'm not doing DIY, I wouldn't be doing anything. And then I get grumpy. Suzanne comes home, she goes, what have you done today? And I go, nothing. And I get fed up then, because I don't
Because
feel like
I've
I'm worth
done,
anything.
I work harder for your career than you do. I'm always doing stuff to try and get you to do stuff. I'm always trying to get you shows and things, and I'm always trying to get you to get out there and do something towards it.
I don't
But
want to do it. I've done it now.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
We did the programme, it goes out on the telly. Job done. If people want to watch it, they watch it. There's no point me cropping up on Loose Women, asking people to tune into my programme. They either want to watch it or they don't. If they're watching Loose Women, I don't want them watching my programme. There's a lot of crap on the telly, and that's why, in a way, people go, oh, it's amazing, isn't it, that you're on the telly? No, not really. Because there's loads of garbage on there. Anyone can get on it.
Well, that's
It's
true.
not special anymore.
That's
It used to be
true.
special in the 80s when there was like 3 channels, 4 channels. Now it's a doddle.
But that's why you should make special TV. I like the fact that in anything you do, 90% in any framework, in any genre you work in, is crap. That's why it's nice to be in that 10%. That's why it's nice to do something that's special. You know, the great thing about Idiot Abroad is people haven't seen anything like it before. I'm so proud of it. It's great. So the fact that you're in a genre where something is 90% crap, that makes you look better. You should relish that.
No, because I don't think people who are watching Loose Women like it. They want some sort of flump telly, don't they? That's that they don't have to. They don't have to think about.
Yeah,
Do you mean the programme The Flumps?
He didn't say flump. He said flump.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now how are you spelling flump? It's F-L-U-M-F.
PH.
PH flump. PH flump.
PF.
PF. Oh,
PF?
flump. Okay.
Flump telly.
Yeah, flump.
Flump telly. So take it this way. So,
And what would be an example of flump telly?
what's flump telly?
No, I don't want to go slagging stuff off, but
No.
I'm just saying I watch
Who
less
would
and less
feature
telly
in
now.
flump telly? Who would be a typical
Who's
person?
typical? Is it all for those awful docu-soaps when people live their life like an open wound, saying, "Look, me fanny fell off," and
I haven't seen that, but yeah, all that sort of stuff. I do honestly. The amount of telly I watch now compared to a few years ago, it's non-existent. Suzanne comes home at night. I might watch a Grand Designs to get some tips off it. Other than that,
So that's work. You count that as work, don't you?
Research, at
well,
least.
at least you learn something.
Does Suzanne like Grand Designs?
She likes to see the end result, to see what it looks like, but she gets bored at the beginning when it's just a load of bricks.
Right.
She's got enough of that at home.
So,
Yeah.
so, and then we'll just sit and have a game of crib. Or
You'd have been happy in the Blitz, wouldn't you? You'd have been happy down in one of those subway stations.
Oh, Suzanne, what? Chimney's gone. Oh no, what was that? Doodlebug. I better go up there. Oh, leave it. Well, it's fine. Oh, that's bloody heavy-handed. Them Germans. They're bloody heavy-handed.
Well, let's go back a bit here. So you've gone down B&Q, you got your supplies, you've done a bit of tiling. Good job, please job. You're halfway through. Spot a lunch around 3ish.
yeah.
What do you do? Do you pop out for lunch in a cab?
Depends. Sometimes Suzanne, as I pat her on the head, she sometimes says, "There's some ham in the fridge." I'll go, right.
I love it. Like, there's a little choreograph. If I better pat on the head. I don't know what's going to eat today. Oh, Carl thinks, like Pavlovian conditioning.
Yeah.
Last time I patted on the head, she told me about some food in the fridge. Bye, love. Take the rubbish out. I'm in the fridge. Cheers. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll eat that.
Now, the radio's on the whole time. Is there? Because I want to picture this. You're not working in silence. Radio's on the whole time. That little squeaky radio that's sort of halfway in the doorway of the bedroom and the lounge or whatever. You've got the radio. And what station you listen to? You listen to music? You listen to
Sometimes
speech?
I listen to sort of speech stuff.
Right.
Sometimes I listen to music.
What would be speech? Like a kind of one of those phone-in programs, or
Phone-ins do me head in a bit.
Right.
I like, reports on stuff.
Right.
Just little
Radio
things.
5 maybe?
Yeah, 5 Live. That's
Yeah.
all right.
So you like to be informed as you go?
Yeah, just so it gives me something to talk about. Because if you're not with anyone all day, your brain's not doing anything, is it? Whereas me listening to them, it's like having someone in the room telling you stuff without you having to chat back. I prefer
Perfect.
that. I'm a bigger listener than I'm a talker.
Yeah.
Whereas
Perfect.
these days, a lot of people are talking, but they're not listening.
Perfect.
So,
Although you're not listening to actual humans like your friends when they call you up.
because they're just mithering.
And do you make sure that you get everything done and dusted before Suzanne comes home, so she comes home to a spotless place?
Yeah.
And so she comes in, do you instantly show her the work you've done, or do you just let her notice it for herself?
Sometimes I just leave it and see how long it takes for her to go, "Oh, you've done that."
Okay.
And if she doesn't notice it, are you annoyed or are you excited to tell her?
Sometimes I forget.
He does it again the next day.
That timing's a bit shoddy. I should do that. Wow, sometimes you forget. And so it's not the equivalent of when a lady comes to him and says, oh, you haven't noticed me new hairdo. Is it sort of the equivalent for you? If she hasn't noticed, you don't get frustrated.
Now, you do notice her new hairdos, don't you? Because you say you don't like them. So what does she say about your tiling?
No, most of the stuff I do, she goes, "That's good," but sometimes she'll go, "Why don't we just get someone in to do it?"
What, before or after?
Well, it depends what it is. If it's something that's big and has been bothering her, but it's not bothering me, I'm saying I'll sort it out.
Well, what's an
sometimes.
example of something that's big that bothers her and not you?
I had some wires hanging out the wall that I needed to patch up the plaster.
Now, these wires, were they exposed wires, for
Yeah.
example, that you could have touched them and got an electric shock? Or,
Yeah.
well, that is a big thing, isn't it? That
Yeah,
is,
but we haven't got kids running about the house. Who's coming in messing with wires on the walls? Just don't touch it. I know they're there. You know they're there.
Right.
We don't need to put up a sign. We don't need to cone it off. We know they're hanging out. I'll sort it. Don't worry about it. She's going to get someone in. Well, no, I won't get someone in. Because, see, the thing is, she got someone in once when the oven blew up. Right? I said, leave it, I'll sort it, I'll look at it. No, you don't know what you're doing. Get someone in. No, let me have a look. No, get someone in. She calls someone up. They come round. the old £80 call-out charge business straight away. They pull it out, they go, oh, it was the fuse and the plug. Now, I could have sorted that out, but she didn't give me a chance. So now it's good now, because I've got that on the old back burner. So every time she says, let's call someone out, I'll go, oven. There's a little reminder. So I'm glad in a way that she did. But so now she just leaves it. She doesn't interfere.
No, Carl, I've got terrible pains. Oven.
Have you sorted that problem?
Not yet.
No, so the wire's still hanging out of the wall.
Yeah, but I know what to do. It's just that I want to do the other jobs first.
Yeah, but she's concerned about that one, and it's also very dangerous.
It's not that dangerous.
Steve. Oven.
I mean, you said if I speak to anyone in the day, I normally speak to my mum and dad at some point every day.
Really?
Do you? Every
From a
day you
call.
speak to your mum and dad?
Yeah.
Could you take us through a typical conversation with your dad? He calls up.
What does he say? What does he say?
He said, oh, I've just been out, got your mum some medicine.
Well, every time he calls, he's
No,
been
I'm
out
just
and
telling
got
you
him-
the last call out.
Oh, I see, sorry. Right.
What's the weather like?
What's up with your mum?
Oh, she's just got a cough. It's cold, isn't it? Winter, cold.
Yeah. Expectorant? Did you get, was it a tickly cough or a chesty cough?
I think it's chesty.
Get an
Because they've got
expectorant.
like a coal fire. And it's, when I go there, I'm always coughing and that. It's like smoking 20 a day, having one of them in the house. So, she's always coughing. So, yeah, it'd been
And
out.
she smokes 20 a day.
Been out. Got some Benylin.
Does she smoke, your mum?
No, she used to.
Yeah.
Jacked it in when I was born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
It had already done the damage.
Yeah, she smoked more through the pregnancy. She looked at it and went, oh, I'm not smoking again.
Yeah, or drinking.
Look at that fucking head.
So yeah, he said, oh, the weather's bad, is it bad there? I went, yeah. He said, I've just been out, got some medicine, what are you doing? I said, I'm ripping tiles off the wall. He said, oh, that's good. So your mum wants me to do the tiling in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you do it? He said, oh, it's too much of a big job. I said, just do a wall at a time. He said, yeah, I might do.
Right.
He said,
I'm getting fucking bored.
he said he might just sort of plaster over the tiles and sort of, you know, paint over that. I said, well, it's not that good though, is it? Because if you drill into it
Jesus
and you
Christ.
smash a tile in,
Yeah.
the plaster that's on the tiles can crack and go right across. So it's easy just to take them off. So it doesn't take that long to take them off. Just do
When
the
you're off to
job
America,
properly.
Steve, you're going soon.
I'm actually
And,
going the weekend, Rick.
So anyway, he just said, oh, I might do that. But he's got nothing else to do. So that's why I was saying,
Doing Let 'em again in.
Oh, that's good.
just...
Sorry, go on.
And then my mum might get on. And
Okay, let's,
Okay.
what's she got to say?
Look forward to this.
she just tells me a bit of it. She, like, what was it the other day? She said, oh, have you seen them tablets? That are food.
She's just so like you. She's just like you. Oh God, was she a fucking astronaut? Have you seen them tablets? What are food? Oh,
Go on, what
God.
other tablets that are like food?
No, that's what it is. It's like the spaceman food. They've come out and we're just chatting about them. She's saying, oh...
What do you mean they've come out? Really?
Yeah, because we live in a busy world and everything, where people haven't got time to have a proper lunch.
Are you
and
sure
eat.
this isn't like one of those innovation things that when you can buy oxygen in a canister?
Well, didn't you buy one of those ones, Rick?
Yeah.
What would you need oxygen
Well,
in a
because I was
canister
having a
for?
race with my mate, and I thought, I'd just have a bit of that on the way round. Right, it didn't work.
How far were you running?
I don't know, it was a race over a mile. And I thought,
So you were laden down with an
unfair
oxygen.
advantage here. While he was out training, I was just buying something from the innovations catalogue. Yeah.
So you were running and you had a little... You
No,
pulled
no.
it out and you went, what curses?
I took it beforehand. I thought, well, of course it one, it didn't work, and
But
two,
what's it supposed to do? To just
well,
kind
I
of...
thought it would oxygenate my blood more, so I could. I mean, it was flawed. It was a flawed argument. It was a flawed
How
argument.
much did you pay for
I'll
it?
be honest. I don't know, £5 or something.
So what, you had a life in which you had enough time, knowing that there was a race coming up, to order something from the innovations catalogue.
Yeah.
What was this race? Why was
we had a little challenge?
was this a common thing? You had often had
I think
challenges?
I was on the dole at the time. I think I was about 25, and
I mean, if you're on the dole and you've barely got any cash, you're buying air. Oh, jeez.
yeah. I look back now. It was a folly.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's what how he occupies his free days, Carl.
Come on, 20 odd years ago. I don't. Now I actually work out. Now, I'd like to race him now. Woo. Woo.
How is Usain Bolt?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's gone a long way. So your mum calls up. What does she say? She said there's a new pill out that's a meal. Yeah.
We chat about that for a bit. And then she always says, watch the road at the end of the call.
Really?
Yeah, she's always said that. Watch the road.
She doesn't mean the film The Road with Viggo Mortensen.
No, she's just paranoid that I'm going to get run over.
Right.
So every time, I've never been run over.
No. Well, that's because she always tells you to watch the road.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case.
And do you watch the road?
Yeah, I think I do.
She means just stare out the window and watch the road.
Yeah!
She's fascinated by it.
Yeah, exactly, watch the road. There's cars going
There's
past.
moving things. There's big bits of metal with wheels.
So, you did walk into a field of nettles once, though. Let's not forget that.
So you have a call like a scintillating phone conversation like this every day with your parents.
Yeah.
And does she always try to find a piece of new information she thinks might interest you?
That's
each day?
sweet, though. That's
Yeah,
sweet that he talks
absolutely.
to his parents every day.
I
I remember when I went off to university, my brother-in-law dropped me off. My mum came up with me, and she was leaving, and she was sort of crying, and I was making up. I was pretending to be really sort of sad and winding about that. And then I thought, oh, I better call her up. She said, call me. Right, so I think I waited to the following Sunday. It'd been about a week, right? And I called her up, and I couldn't just call her up. I suppose I had to be ironic because I was probably embarrassed about calling my mum. Like I wanted to speak to her too. So I just called her up, and she went, "Hello." I went, "Mum." She went, well, "Yeah." I went, "It's Ricky." She went, "What's the matter?" I said, "I think I'm blind." She went, "What?" I went, "No, how's it going?" She went, "You silly bleeder, I nearly had a heart attack."
That's great.
So if you want to spice up calls to your mum, pretend you've had a terrible accident and that you're blind.
I like it when I phone my gran, and the only other people that ever phone my gran is me, my sister, or my parents. No one else ever calls. And every time she picks up, she goes, "Hello?" Like, it could be a monster that's gonna come through the phone line. But also, it's like she's like, each time she hears it ring, it surprises her. Like, there's a noise in the house, and she wanders around, she finds an object that's ringing, and she doesn't know what it is, and she sort of hits buttons until,
Yeah.
"Hello?"
Well, she's tried 3 already.
But what annoys me is I'll say, "Hello, Gran," and she'll go, "Who's that?" "Oh, come on." You must recognise me by now. I'm the only person who calls except about 3 other people.
I'm not the girl.
Yeah, exactly. And my granddad, she's had this for years. It's not just as she gets up. She'll go through all of the family's name until she gets to
Oh, mine
me.
not used to do that. Mine not used to do
So
that.
she knows
yeah.
it's me, but she'll go, "Hello, Ron, Elaine, Alex, Steve."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh.
But it's the same with each member of the whichever one of us she's talking
Always
to.
last.
It's the always last.
Yeah. Oh dear. So you've spoken to your mum and dad. You've changed the tiles. You've had lunch. The telly's not on.
Suzanne comes in. You've made her dinner.
No.
Right.
What happens there? Now, what happens there?
What time does she get in?
You've done all this by about 4 or 5, have you?
Well, I'm tidying up. I normally keep my eye on the clock. I
and
like
the
to
road.
give myself like 40 odd minutes to clean up.
Right.
Kitchen's all clean, ready for us to make the tea.
Ready for her to make the tea, even though I know you've been tiling, but that was a job you gave yourself. You didn't have to do it.
No, but I don't do cooking. She knows that. This isn't even a discussion.
Right.
She knows. Like today, I've got to get some thin chips, so I'll do that.
You mean fries?
Yeah.
Okay. What is frozen in the bag or whatever?
Yeah. I've got to get some of them.
And what are you having? What are you having tonight?
Scampi.
So that's shop bought scampi. Just what do you do? Just
Don't know. She
Deep
just
fry
brings it. I don't know. I think it's just chuck it in the oven.
yeah.
So she'll do all that. I'll eat it.
And sorry, let me just rewind for a second.
I'll eat it. He's listing it in his day's work. I'll eat it. I say, "I've eaten that." She goes, "Thank you." You go, "Oven."
Do you ask her how her day's been? I'm just interested when she comes in.
Definitely not.
She's had a busy
Definitely
day.
not.
She's listen. Don't jump to conclusions, Rick. All right. Okay, so she comes in.
Okay, let's act it out.
Yeah.
Okay, you've just cleaned up, right? The last bit there. You look back. Them tiles look good. You look at the clock. Oh, what time is it? She usually comes through the door.
Well, don't know. It can change. She calls and warns me.
Right. Let's go
so-
through. Take me through. Okay. The end of the day.
Right. Vacuuming up, cleaning up all the mess. Phone's going. Who's that? Suzanne. All right. Yeah. Coming home. All right then. See you in a bit. She'll go. I'll put the kettle on, or at least fill it ready, because she normally calls again.
What do you mean?
And,
She calls again? What?
She calls again when she's out the tube.
Let's do it. Let's hear it. What's going on?
All right, you out the tube? Yeah, do you want a cup of tea? Yeah. All right, see you in a minute. Flick the kettle on. Get the tea bags out. Make a cup of tea.
Milk?
Bit of milk. Sometimes I'll say, "Oh, get us a little treat when you come out the tube."
Yeah.
So she'll get me, a bounty or something to go with a cup of tea.
Nice.
She'll come in.
Before your tea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to be another 40-odd minutes.
So you have a bounty before you have a meal?
Not every day, just sometimes. If I've got a sugar low, I've got a touch of diabetes.
No, you haven't.
I have. I feel like a bit shaky.
Oh, so you just made that up. So you have got no evidence whether you got diabetes.
Well, I haven't got
or not.
evidence of it, but I think I have.
So there's no evidence, but let's believe in it anyway.
Right, well, I have a bounty that normally sorts it out. To me, that's a sign of diabetes. Otherwise, what's wrong with me? So,
You're just a greedy fucker.
no, I'm telling you, I sometimes need it. I get a proper urge for a Mars bar. I go, I've got to have one
What's
now.
your bounty for then?
No, just to mix it up because I get sick of Mars bars.
Do you? Well, when you say get me a bounty, have you got an urge for a bounty then, or a Mars bar?
Well, it's just that they're both quite equal in sugar content.
Yeah, but
Bounties, there's a lot of that.
do you
coconut.
specify then when you say get me a treat? She says, well, what? Sometimes you have a Mars bar, sometimes you have a bounty.
No, that's enough for me. When she comes in, it's a talking topic, innit? What have you got me?
Topic. She sometimes gets you a topic.
It's something to chat about, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Your bounty.
Something to chat about.
So, has there ever been a time? Sorry, I just got to get this straight, Steve.
Sorry, Rick, I just wanted to say, could you imagine you and I having a conversation about what chocolate bar you have brought me? What'd you get me, Rick?
Got your bounty. Is that all
Thanks,
right?
mate. That's as long as that conversation can possibly
Yeah,
go.
that
You're
is
talking about it, it's a talking point.
Yeah, so what happens? So what's the last time there was a discussion about what she bought you? Did she ever bring you a bounty and you go, oh, I was really hoping for a Mars bar?
I think the last time she got a bounty, I sort of said, "Oh, they do a 3-pack now." Do you know how they just have 2 bars? They do a 3 one.
Right, what did she say?
She said, "Did he?"
She said, I want out of this relationship.
No, but that's how a chat starts, and they'll go, "Yeah, that's why there's fatter people now. Everything's in bigger amounts, innit? It used to just be 1, like a Milky Way. Now you can get a 3-pack, and then they're saying, oh, there's fat people, because that's the thing. She's sort of been talking to people all day. I've been tiling, listening to the radio, hearing reports of obesity. So this is a chance for me to tell her what I've learned, in a way.
Right.
So I'll empty what
I bet
I've
she
learned.
loves coming through that door.
Well, she comes through, take her coat off, I'll go, oh. She'll go, what, are we having scampi still, or have you gone off the idea? And then I'll go, oh, we should get them tablets my mum's been talking about. She goes, what tablets? I go, the food. So see how it's all coming together?
Yeah.
So it's like that, and that's
What does
we
she
do.
say to the idea of now living on tablets instead of having some scampi and chips when she comes home after a hard day's work? What does she
She
say
just
to
sort of
that?
goes, oh, right.
She says, oh, right.
Yeah.
So this important information which you're imparting that you've garnered during the day, her response to that is, oh, right.
Yeah.
So-
and then I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say there's worms with teeth.
I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say I'm going to bring out the good big guns now.
Imagine-
Right, she's ignoring me. Okay, wait for this. Suzanne, I see you're ignoring me. Yeah. Worms with teeth. Oh God, amazing.
Oh, God.
So what does she say to worms have teeth?
I can't remember. She just sort of said, oh, have you got the facts right? I said, yeah. That's kind of it. And she'll either go, oh, right, or she'll... I mean, it's pretty rare that it's anything more than that.
So it's not a conversation, really.
No.
Because the response twice now has been, oh, right.
Right, so she's looking forward to some scampi and chips. She hands over your bounty. You go, oh, they do 3. Yeah, whatever. Right? What happens next? Take us through.
I'll sort of say, anything to report? Anything gone on today? Mm-hmm. And she knows it's I sort of phase off again. It's like a phone call. She'll go, oh, so-and-so's leaving or whatever, and I don't know these people. And I'm not that interested.
And she senses that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll go, oh, have you paid the insurance? I go, no, I forgot. She'll go, yeah, I told you to do that. I said, yeah, but I've been doing the tiling. She's going, yeah, but you weren't meant to do the tiling. I asked you to sort the insurance out on the washer, because the washer keeps breaking. And she won't let me fix it, even though I know what it was. It was a heating element. I said, I know how to fix that. But she was going, no, I don't want you messing with it, because if you flood the kitchen out, it's, makes a mess. So anyway, so I've got to sort that out. I still haven't done it. I should have done that today. Then have a game of crib.
Oh God! Oh,
It's like being in an old people's home.
I know. But I'll tell you what, put the telly on, because there's some flump on there that might give you an insight.
No.
No?
No, not until... like I've said to you before, unless she knows what she's putting it on for, it doesn't go on.
Right.
None of this flicking it
So when
on.
she says, let's put the telly on, you go, OK, Suzanne, what are we going to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, what...
And she goes, well, I don't know, should we have a look what's on?
I say, look what's on first.
But have you got a Radio Times or a TV?
Yeah, I've got a magazine that comes with a paper at the weekend.
Okay.
Look through that. If there's anything on your fancy, we'll look at it. If not, we don't need it on. Put the radio on.
Right.
And then she has a look and she'll go, The Apprentice is on. I'll go, OK, you can have it on.
Right.
If she goes, oh, there's... I can't remember a time when I've said, no, you're not having that on.
You're quite patriarchal, aren't you, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
Was that the man of the house rules the roost?
Yeah, you pretty
Not
much lay the
really.
rules down, don't you?
No, because she still does what she wants. Even though I'm saying you're clumping about again, making a racket, she does it more. But it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. And so you've had a lovely game of crib with Suzanne, because, you know, the magic's still there. And what time do you hit the sack?
Don't know, about 11.
Do you go to bed at the same time?
Yeah. So that's it, yeah, that's
So,
the day, really.
well, hang on, we haven't finished yet. So, any conversation before bed?
Depends if the radio's on. I might say, look, here's that story about the worm.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, yeah, but look, it hasn't got teeth. It said this, that and the other. And I'll go, oh, yeah, forgot.
Good night.
That's the end of that, really.
Another day closer to death.
Well, that was a free podcast. I suppose we'd call that a day in the life of Carl Pilkington. That's a little thank you to all the fans who bought the audiobooks.
It's not much of a gift, is it?
Wow, it's something, isn't it? I mean, I know Carl did it begrudgingly, but thank you for downloading the audiobooks all these years. Carl's very grateful, really. It means he can go and buy as much grouting as he'll ever need. And thank you to people who've bought the book, An Idiot Abroad, and watched the programme. If you still can't get enough Carl, the DVD An Idiot Abroad is out. That's a lovely Christmas gift for all the family. Order that now at Amazon.co.uk or Calm or
Yeah,
HMV
or your retailer
or Play.
of choice. Your retailer
Any retailer of choice. Or go out and buy it. Go out for
get
a
off your
walk.
arse and buy it.
Go out for a walk and buy An Idiot Abroad on DVD and the book. And what a lovely Christmas gift the Ricky Gervais show would make as well on DVD.
Animated ramblings from the round-headed moron.
Some people don't even realise that The Idiot Abroad is Carl Pilkington from the Ricky Gervais show. If you're on Twitter and Facebook and MySpace, or if you've got just friends you actually talk to via the mouth, then tell them if they enjoyed An Idiot Abroad to get the Ricky Gervais show on audiobook or DVD. And while you're at it, buy my new stand-up on DVD, Science.
No, I don't know, Rick. That seems a shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, what was all the other shit then?
Yeah, that was just talking to the fans.
That's
whereas
because you get a third of all the other stuff.
all right, let's not reduce it to money.
Carl's on it.
On what?
On the Science DVD. I've done a special programme where I interview him for Science, which is amazing. But my favourite bit is probably when he meets Warwick Davis. I stitched him right up. He thought he was going to have a talk about science. We hid Warwick, right?
Well, that's not hard, is it?
We had to keep him in a different room, and then Carl sat down, thought he was talking about science, and I went, got a little fella, and Warwick walks out, and your little face, and Warwick confronted him over some of the words he's used. Midget.
Yes, I remember the famous midget hippopotamus story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you used the word midget there far too many times.
Yeah. So there's a few things to buy at Christmas. Go out and buy one of our DVDs or books. This was free. Now pay for something. Testing. This is a special transmission. A special one-off show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And the little bald mank twat that is the shaven monkey known as Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, Rick, just a quick question, because if people have just stumbled across this, perhaps on the internet or on their TV channel, they're probably going to be a little bit alarmed by what you've said there. You've come straight in with little bald mank twat, and a lot of people don't know who that little bald mank twat is, so maybe you should clarify. Well,
I'm Ricky Gervais. You probably know me from such shows as The Office and Extras, cameos in the odd film. My long-term partner, not in that way, Stephen Merchant.
Not in that way. Stephen Merchant, yes, I was involved with some of those projects, but I've not been in a film.
And, we met Carl when we went back to XFM as Conquering Heroes. We were let go when, XFM changed hands. And then, we did The Office, and then we came back, and we were big shots. No longer did we need to run the desk or press any buttons. So we were assigned, how can I put this? Like a stupid lackey.
Yes. Proper. I mean, probably the person who was lowest on the rung.
I'd have thought so.
Station.
They said, "Oh, give it to me. No one wants to work Saturdays."
The caretaker didn't work Saturdays, so they gave us Carl.
And we met Carl, and I was first struck by the roundness of his head. I'll be honest. I thought, this is a bald man, a little round-headed, bald freak of a man. He opened his mouth. He spoke funny. Actually, he spoke without opening his mouth. That was the second thing that struck me. He just had this slack-jawed gimpness about him. Words came out.
I think they got the idea now, anyway.
Was what?
Do you feel that was a balanced explanation of your meeting with us, or would you like to offer any extra detail there, Carl?
Well, with every meeting, there's a different story, isn't there? The way you sort of looked at me and thought, he's weird. I saw Steve. It was like a triangle. Ricky was looking at me, I was looking at you, thinking that's weird.
It seems unjust that I'm why don't you have any go at Ricky for being fat and
just because, no, I'm just saying on the first meeting,
right.
It's like a museum, isn't it? Everybody rushes to the weird stuff first.
I love the fact that you're putting yourself firmly in that category as well, though. Oh, I love that. That's great. Like someone from Reservoir Dogs. Everyone looking at someone else.
But you don't feel that way about me anymore.
No, I've got used to it now. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that whatever your accusations of weirdness were, they were unfounded.
It moves on, doesn't it? It's like anything, you get used to a look, don't you? I watch a lot of programmes on stuff that people have up with them, and
you only watch programmes about people that got something wrong with them. That is what you do. If ever you say, "Did you see that thing last night?" It's going to be something like the kid who was born with too many legs, or the baby with an arse for a head. It's always going to be stuff like that.
It's like there was a programme on a bit back about a fella who had a funny head and what have you, and he lived in a small village, and nobody double-taked anymore because you get used to it, don't you?
What was up with his head?
Just had like it was sort of like the new Elephant Man. He'd sort of gone for that look.
He's gone for that look. And what does he do in the morning? Just eat a bun, sort of shave?
It's just, that's all I'm saying is people in his village, you want a big village, people are used to it, and they no longer stared, and that's what I'm saying with you.
But it's interesting that, because you say you've acclimatised to my so-called weirdness. I don't know what weirdness that is, I've still not grasped that. But Ricky continues What?
It's just the eyes.
He's listening.
Why are you listening? So I've not had a go at you and you stupid round head like a orange. Which is the thing which perpetually entertains Ricky. Ricky is never acclimatised to you. Is that fair, Rick?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of him. Because I see different things. Every time I look at Carl, sometimes I see like a completely sort of like spherical object. Right, like honestly, like some sort of pumpkin on Halloween. And then I see him, flat, straight
with
on.
With a pumpkin, Rick, with a jack-o'-lantern outside someone's house, right? There is a certain light behind the eyes. Not with Carl.
And then sometimes he looks like a plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, like a clay plate that a child has made.
When they've made a face on the plate using their food.
Or a biscuit. Like one of those biscuits, novelty biscuits you can buy at your
you
birthday.
Can ice with a little smile into mine.
Yeah. But that's not the, I think that's not the biggest thing. Carl, it isn't his, physicality, isn't it the roundness of his head, it isn't the gimpness of his slack-jawed, face. It's not even his hairy body and sort of like chimp-like gait. It is.
Although those are all key features.
These are all key features, but it's his incredible mind. And I think, maybe over the next, 2 hours or so, if you haven't heard of Carl, then I think you're in retreat. If you have heard of Carl, then you're already being, treated, I think, by the fact that he is present on this special broadcast.
Rick, can I suggest that we take a pause there, play some music, come back and we'll talk some more?
Oh, this isn't just about Carl, we're playing some great tunes. Arctic Monkeys, fluorescent adolescent. Talking of monkeys, we're here with Carl Pilkington. Well, I say we. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
Doing a special one-off broadcast. Now, it's special in the sense that I don't know why it's special. I started that sentence. I had no. I had no backup. It's not particularly special. We've done this thousands of times. Well, it's special in the sense
You got the old team back together.
exactly. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
Yeah.
That's why it's a special one-off. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
I know it's special for me because I'm giving up a time, about 3 or 4 hours of my time for no money and no personal gain. So
Well,
it's a special treat
you
for me
say
in
that.
respect.
Now, Sammy Jacob, right, is the guy that founded XFM and gave me and Steve our break
Yeah.
in entertainment or whatever comedy. I remember also on the second day, he said, "When are you two going to do some work before I fire?"
Yes.
Which was
and
yeah.
I vowed that no one would ever say that again.
yeah.
And
So he called me out of the blue and said, you know, we're launching Enemy Radio. I thought that's a good project, you know. I'm a fan of the genre. Right, will you do a special show? Right, I called Steve. Steve went, I called Carl and he went, definitely not. And so I had to persuade these two miserable bastards to do this show. Carl, why didn't you want to do this? As a favour, I said to Carl, let's do it, let's do one. There's 2 reasons I wanted to do this. One, we'd stop the podcast.
Yeah.
Carl, we charged for the podcast because you'd left work, and, you know, we did very, very well with that, and I thought I want to give something back to the fans, okay? That's one thing, okay? Right? 2, I want to do Sammy a favour. Why not? Okay?
Well, that's fair. That's your opinion.
Yeah, but you, yes.
But what you can't do when you're doing someone a favour, you can't go, yeah, Steve and Carl feel the same about it. Yeah, of course I'll do it, Sammy.
Well,
of course Carl will do you a favour, the man you've never met and you've never done a favour for yourself.
Well-
Of course he'll do it.
Well, hold on. Steve didn't want to do it either. He was busy. He works on Six Music, so he was worried about that. He shouldn't really be doing
I shouldn't really be doing this, and I'll tell you this, if you do love great new music and lively chat, then Six Music Sunday afternoons is a great place to be with the Steve Merchant Show.
I agree. There's enough for everyone to go round. Enjoy that. Enjoy this. But Steve does it a favour to me. I said, Steve, well, do it. All right, mate. You've done me enough favours.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Okay. You didn't fall for that. I said, as a favour to me. No, he didn't. I even started an internet campaign to put in the poster up saying, Carl, do some work, you little lazy bastard. After a month, he was begging me to stop it.
I
He
wasn't
was
begging you, it was just a bit stupid.
You were really annoyed.
Yeah.
What
was
I like
annoyed.
though, it's interesting because you're a busy man, Rick, and I know you've been heavily involved with lots of projects. How you found time, because you don't like writing and doing any form of administration at any time. How you found time to write a daily blog is quite remarkable.
Well, I knew it was irritating him.
Right.
It was, it captured the imagination of, you know, people all over the world. I wanted him to do this podcast, and here we are. What changed your mind, Carl?
Well, you kept going on about it,
Yeah.
and then I thought,
You saw friendship was an important thing.
yeah, a little bit of that.
Now I've got to tell Steve something on air that Steve doesn't know about. Me and Steve are doing this for free, as a favour. I'm doing it as a favour to Sammy. Steve's doing it as a favour for me. That's what friends are for. Carl was negotiating himself some money.
Yeah, well, this
Who the hell have you negotiated money from?
with Sammy, I didn't know him. I owe this man nothing. I'm not doing anything for free. I've got bills to pay. We've all got bills to pay, right?
Oh.
You've got other work that brings you money in.
Let me just stop because
Sick of it.
wait though, because this is interesting. Because as you say, Rick, you're doing this as a favour to Sammy. He gave you your big break. Now, Rick, you gave me my big break, right? I didn't know Sammy. Ricky gave me a break. I'm doing this as a favour to Ricky.
Oh, hold on.
Who the hell gave Carl Pilkington a big break? Who would? There's one man in this room who wouldn't even have an agent, wouldn't even have a need for an agent if it weren't for Mr. Ricky Gervais. But hang on a minute, it's not me. 'Cause
Nice one, Steve.
I'm already thanking you, Rick. by
Nice
doing
one,
free,
Steve.
This free show. So hang on a
You
minute.
miserable, ungrateful little mank twat. Yeah, it's I hope you feel really bad.
I don't feel bad.
Me and Steve are doing it out of the kindness of our heart.
Yeah, free.
You're money grabbing again. They're also on the internet. How mean he is.
I'm not mean.
You are mean, Carl. Because you know we did those paid podcasts, and all I wanted to do was some free ones. You wouldn't do it
Because we've done it now. I'm just saying you've got to get to a point when you go, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the podcasts were alright. Cut them off. You don't keep the story going. With
But
the Bible, they didn't go, let's do another volume. People seem to like this story.
Yes, they did.
What?
The New Testament. The Old Testament was a
Yeah,
massive
alright, they did
success.
it once then. They did like a special for the fans. But all I'm saying is...
One sequel.
But they didn't keep going on. And we did 3 lots of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's more than enough for anyone.
But I just wanted to give you know the people on the internet something back.
Yeah, well, we've given them enough. Sick of the people on the internet always moaning.
What? Who am I?
Just moan.
Who do?
People do. Sick of it. Calling me Graham. They said I'm not even real. They said he's an actor. He's called Graham. That annoyed me. That's the thing that annoyed me the most. Graham. Of all the names. It's just that if I'm not me, what am I? That's the thing that annoys me most.
You're not me, what am I?
Well, it would annoy me if someone was accusing me of something, 'cause, I mean, that's the thing. No, it annoyed you because they were stating a falsehood.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. That's what did me head in.
Let's, play a record and be back with Carl after this. Richard Ashcroft, check the meaning. He's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Wigan.
Yeah, we were just discussing,
the fact how miserable and mean Carl is. He won't do anyone a favour.
Do favours. I shifted your telly.
Oh, hold on. He shifted my telly. I gave him a television. I gave him a bed. He went, I shifted your bed. No, I gave you a bed. That's how he couches things.
I cashed that bloody cheque you wrote to me.
Unbelievable.
Who's the last person you did a favour for where you weren't expecting something in return?
I'm always treating people. I've told you, if I have a good day, at the end of it, I'll go, do you know what? I'll treat them.
Treat who?
It might be a homeless fella. It might be some charity. I'm sick, honestly, the amount of money I give away
it might be a girlfriend who got a lovely new camera for Christmas, still wrapped up from when it was given to you as a leaving present.
So...
all this stuff about you're doing so much for charity. You honestly tell me, you think you're walking along, you're whistling, oh, I had a great day, me. Hey, you never have a great day.
No, I've never seen you have a great day. It doesn't matter what, it's unbelievable. You're whinging all the time, miserable. Yeah. Nothing impresses you, nothing at all. The best I've ever heard you was alright, that.
Well, tell us about the last time you had a great day. What was the last great day you had where you thought, oh, I must end this by giving some money to a homeless fella?
I mean, yeah, I don't have a great day. but what I mean is, a day when I go, do you know what? I'm quite content.
That's amazing!
It's a long way from a good day.
That is the equivalent of him skipping along.
No, every night before I nod off, I lie there, and I think, what sort of a day have I had? And I'll go through it and I'll go, yeah, that was alright.
How boring is that?
No, it's good, you've got to do that, otherwise what was the point of the day? If you're never going to look back on it and go, what have I done? Yeah, that was alright. What's the point of it happening?
But how often do you go, wow, I've really achieved a lot today? Because I remember one day at random you told us, you'd been to the Cobblers and back.
I didn't even know Cobblers still existed.
Yeah, that was a 24-hour period we were talking about there. You kept a diary. It mainly consisted of, had a chip butty in a cafe with Suzanne. And then you talk about an old woman you saw.
No,
that was your day.
I've made it a thing that I do now, that I like to learn something every day, and then...
Go on, what have you learnt today?
Well, I haven't done anything yet.
Brilliant.
But what I'm saying
What
is...
did you learn yesterday?
I've learned you're not a generous man. You're a mean bastard, you don't repay...
And that's coming from Steve Merchant.
I'm just saying, as long as... I always think if you've learnt something...
Yeah.
Then the day's not been wasted.
Well, what have you learnt yesterday? What have you learnt yesterday?
It was something you told me about the monkey arm.
Right, yeah. There's, scientists, have done the first brain robot interface. They've put like 100 electrodes on the part of the cortex that is, for, your motor system, and they put it on a monkey's brain, and through the power of thought, he learned how to use a robot arm.
Wow.
So just by thought, just like you do your own arm,
yep.
you know, and, it took him a few days, not years. In a few days, this monkey was making this robot arm pick up grapes and put it in his own mouth through the power of thought. Right? Carl went, did he have his own arms? I went, yeah. He went, well, he's lazy then.
Don't you think it's a bit wasted on a chimp? One, what's it doing? All they ever do is eat or chuck shit about. So why give them a decent new robotic arm?
Well, who are you going to give it to?
I just mean give it to something that is going to get more use out of it.
What, a giraffe?
No, something more... If they could link that up to a worm, I'd go, that's good.
Well, how could a worm think to use a robot arm?
Listen to me.
They can't think.
Hang on, I'd like to know. I'd like to know how this tiny
How do you know? How do you know? What I'm saying is, a worm's never had an arm.
You're a maniac! Think what you're saying! You wish a worm had an arm for a day!
No, all I'm saying is, if we're gonna faff about here and get animals giving them extra arms,
They weren't giving a monkey an extra arm! They were testing this theory that they could make the first computer-brain interface. The thought went from the brain through a computer and made this arm work. That's incredible. The upshots are, you can really have bionic arms. You could have, amputees having perfectly working dexterous limbs.
And your response to that is?
Give it to a worm.
I'd just say I'd be more, I'd sort of be fascinated about seeing it more. If they said, look at what the worms wants to do with an arm if it had one.
I honestly don't know how your brain works. I think we should give it to you and see what you do with the arm.
What? I tell you what.
How could a worm have an arm, Carl? It
wouldn't have an arm. The monkey didn't have an arm. It was a robot arm that they'd set up.
Right, let me explain it like this. I wish they'd have picked something else. Maybe not a worm, but they always seem to do the tests on the wrong animals.
No, they do it on the closest thing to the human being they can.
I'll tell you what I read. You know, I say I like to learn something every day and what have you.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, it was about our worm. They've given it anti-aging cream.
Right.
When have you ever seen an old worm? How do you know if it's any good? I could not tell you the age of a worm. I've seen loads of them. Give it a tortoise.
Play a record.
Bob Dylan, Positively 4th Street.
I actually, Rick, was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if this was thanks to your campaign, but I did pass somewhere. It was admittedly a European person, but as I passed, they went, "Oi, oi! Carl Pilkington's got a head like a f***ing orange."
That's amazing.
Which is lovely to see.
And
I've had it all the way around the world.
That's in Vietnam. What were you doing in Vietnam?
You know, just, heard there was a war. Went over to see if that was, wrapped up. They finished that a while ago.
So you've been to Vietnam, you went to...
Popped down to Cambodia at the same
Cuba,
time.
yeah, Cambodia, Kenya. I was wondering, would you ever consider going to a holiday destination where you didn't have to have injections in the stomach to get in?
Well, you know what? I am an adventurer by spirit. I'm a sort of Indiana Jones figure, and, plus someone was paying for it. We did it, pardon me, we did it in, high-class luxury. There was no slum in it. I felt a bit bad because I was worried that I wouldn't see the real Vietnam. But I did see the real Vietnam from the air-conditioned 4x4 that I was, being driven to my 5-star hotel.
And what's it like?
It's great, it's really good. I mean, obviously, you know, the war was a long time ago, so, they got back on the, you know, back on their uppers. I don't know what I mean by that, but anyway.
Nice the other way around, if you're on your uppers, isn't it? Yeah.
Back on. Anyway, it's doing well, a lot of nice people, a lot of generous people. You know, obviously there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things over there I think which would really intrigue you, Carl, and I think it's a great shame that you're not more adventurous as a traveller, because I think it would really open your eyes.
You're having a laugh? He has about 9 holidays a year.
He goes to the same place, doesn't he? Some rock in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's safe. I know Vietnam's
There's nothing there.
I know, but I don't sort of... What I've seen of Vietnam, I had a mate who went to somewhere like that. He showed me a picture. I had a picture of him walking round with a bag of locust that had been sold, and that's to eat.
Well, I did actually utter the phrase at one point. "Oh, I think that gecko's repeating on me."
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, I am quite exotic. I don't mind. I tell you what I didn't do, though, and I think I would fascinated to have seen you down there. There's a place in Vietnam, just outside of Hanoi, called Snake Village. Right, and it is a long, long tradition in Vietnamese culture of eating snakes. In fact, one of the tourists even said, one of the guides actually said, "We will eat anything." And, they eat snakes over there, and I'm not just talking about tiny little ones, I mean proper great big mammoth snakes, sometimes even king cobras, which I think may even be endangered in some parts of the world. And anyway, in Snake Village, you go over there, I didn't go because I was just a bit too squeamish. You sit down, they bring a great big snake. You choose it like you would a lobster. They bring you that snake. They sort of give it a bit of a demonstration. Then they slit it open in front of you.
That's disgusting.
The blood dribbles into a cup, and then if you're the guest of honour, they take the still beating heart and they make you drink it from a glass.
Yeah, you see,
that's disgusting.
I've never fancied that.
No,
I've never sort of thought. You know what? I just think it's not holiday. That it's like endurance. Well. I don't,
I'm not suggesting that you would enjoy that. I'm saying that there are many of these interesting, you know, exotic worlds out there. You just stay closeted in your tiny little world and whinge about everyone else. Oh, and this and that. You've got no real empathy. I mean, I went to some extraordinary places in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of floating villages. Yeah. Villages that are actually floating on the water where the fishermen
he's
live.
had trouble with his boiler. There was a big leak in your flat, wasn't there?
But that's fine, looking at stuff like that. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the point when I'm getting hungry, don't be serving me a snake's head. I'd love to see a little floating village. But why is it every restaurant you go in, they go, you know, do you want some crispy ant? Sea urchins? You know, some mate had one of them, they said, it's sort of alive when you're eating it, you have to hit it on the head to knock it out a bit and eat it before it wakes up again. I don't want a meal where you're sort of having to do that to it. I'm not going to enjoy it, thinking, is it waking up yet? I haven't finished my starter. Oh, it's rolling about a bit. Hit it on the head again.
But this shows your ignorance, Carl, because Vietnamese food is not like that at all, is it? I'm just talking about one particular exotic restaurant.
What was your last holiday? A couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cheap one though.
Go on, where'd you go?
It was only 250 quid.
Yeah, brilliant. Go on.
Just a place in Menorca.
You don't want to waste money, do you?
Menorca. It's just,
You've been there before, haven't you?
No, I don't think I have.
You've basically been to the same places over there.
Yeah, there's not, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there was nothing there to see. It was just, even the weather wasn't that good. But
So it was a waste of time. No wonder it was 250 quid.
I don't know why I went.
But it's an experience.
So you and Suzanne went away for an idyllic holiday. It was £250 all in for a week, was it? Weather wasn't very good. There was nothing to see.
It was a shithole.
Right. What did you do?
I just sat outside and I was watching.
In the rain.
Really? You didn't even need to hire a villa then. You could have just pitched up and said, "Can I sit here?"
We had our own space, and for the first day it was all right. And then then a family moved in next door from Scotland, and they were loud. And I hate it when people are loud and you can't understand what they're saying because their accents was really strong. So it's like, no, I can't even sit here and listen to what's going on. It's like really strong accent.
Brilliant.
The kid was only young, but he sounded old. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
No, I've no idea.
Just the Scottish voice. It sounds old. Even though he was a baby, he had a voice of an old man.
I don't know what that means.
This is what I'm saying. You don't go anywhere where you can embrace the change and the difference. You go to places where just some annoying people come and you move in next door.
I had paella. I mean, it depends how much you want out of life. How much, you know, what, yeah, like I said to you, life's about learning.
What do you want to learn?
I'm just saying that's what life's about. If you don't learn anything, then what's the point? You might as well be a mayfly.
Right.
We've got all these years on the planet.
Yeah.
See something.
Hold on. This is what Steve's saying.
I know. But I'm saying, watch it on the telly.
There we are. There's the rub.
Rilo Kiley. Portions for foxes.
If you love good music, by the way, you should tune into Six Music on Sunday afternoons, the Steve Show.
Well, at the moment you're listening to Enemy Radio.
Well, yeah, but
you can listen to that on enemyradio.com or on your telly, on the internet, everywhere around the world. Enemy, probably along with Rolling Stone, one of the most famous, most respected music.
Well, yeah, but you can carry on reading. You can carry on reading Rolling Stone magazine after you're about 16 years of age. Have you read The Enemy? Well,
not for a while.
The letters pages. People complaining about the haircut of the bloke from the Kaiser Chiefs. It's not a pressing concern. Move on.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's me with music. I like to sing along to a track, but
I doubt that.
I do. Well,
Go on.
No, I sort of hum.
Go on then. What's the last track you hummed along to?
What's your shower song? People supposedly have a shower song they sing in the shower. What's yours?
Oh, well, with my boiler being broke, it's got to be a short one.
How's that going?
People won't believe it. See, that's the other thing that people think, you know, I've been moaning about the boiler since, about 2006?
Yeah.
I've had it fixed loads of times, still the fault now. Every summer, it's come round again, you know, the hot weather. It's not working.
Get a new boiler.
I can't get a new one. People keep saying get a new one. I can't get a new one because no one will fit one in the cupboard that it's in.
What, you can't find a single boiler in the world?
No. What they said was, British Gas said they can't touch it because it's dangerous.
That's good.
I got in a dodgy fella to try and sort it, and he said, "Oh, I don't want to tap that one. It seems too dangerous." He said, "Have you got an alarm in here?" What do you mean? He said, "It lets out gases. Make sure you have a thing because this is old boiler. I'm not messing with it."
So immediately you went out and got that seen to?
No, I've got an alarm now.
Have you?
Yeah,
what, you're genuinely telling me there is no one anywhere who can take this boiler out? What they got to do, they just got to blow up the house, have they?
What they said was, they said we can put one in your lounge for you. Because they said you've got to knock a wall down, all this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
What have you got to knock a wall down?
They said knock a wall down to put up a new boiler, and I don't want to start knocking walls down just for the sake of hot water. It's not worth it. Put the kettle on. I can't be bothered, so yeah, it is still ongoing.
You ain't got to wash his hair, has he?
No, that's true.
So yeah, I don't really have a shower song. But, Yeah, music's alright. I just don't want to know everything about
Music's
it.
all right.
No, it's good.
It's one of the seven wonders of the world.
I know it is, yeah, it's good.
It's beyond. I can't describe. I couldn't try to describe how amazing music is.
Yeah, I know.
Not the shit we've been playing.
No, I'm just.
But I mean,
I'm just
good
saying.
music, classical
Vaughan
music.
Williams and Beethoven.
The music affects the brain in extraordinary ways. People with, you know, sleeping sickness, who are otherwise almost in a vegetative state, hear music, they can suddenly can come awake, they can sometimes even dance. You know, I was watching a documentary the other night about people with, you know, Tourette's syndrome, where it affects, you know, the body in different you know, they have spasms and twitches, but when they're drumming, all those spasms and twitches go away. Other people who've got the IQ of children, and yet they can play classical pieces, they can improvise in an extraordinary jazz way.
It does
It's a
something to
remarkable
you.
thing.
Music
It works at
does
the subconscious
something.
No,
level.
it does, yeah. There's an Elvis song that my hairs always go up on my back every time I hear it. I don't know why. Every time I hear it.
Well, I know why, because there's none on your head.
But you've worked in music, you've worked around music for years, and not once has it improved your IQ.
No, do you know the biggest problem, Steve? I don't want to moan.
You do.
You can't get away from noise these days, and that's the problem. I think that's music's almost got too important now. People can't think, and that's the problem with music. There's always noise. You can't get away from it, and I can't concentrate. If there's any sort of noise, I can't concentrate. My brain's going, "What's the noise?" And my ears are going, "I don't know. Go and have a look." And
I love the
guys-
fact that your brain's talking to your ears.
it's all connected.
The irony is, I genuinely think that conversation is going on
I
in
know,
Carl's
and
head.
I think the ears are slightly cleverer than his brain.
No,
Yeah.
they all kick in, don't they? Yeah, I'm sat there, my brain's working.
Go
I might
on.
be writing something, I might be doing that book, I'm thinking, my brain's going, right, yeah, it's working, and then a noise happens outside. My ears go, what's that? My eyes go, well, I'll have a look. Brain goes, yeah, go on then. Suddenly, they're not even thinking about the book. All the
They!
No.
It's you!
No, but
There's no conversation
no,
between ears
but
and
this
eyes
is
and
where it's
brains.
interesting.
He's read the Numbskulls. Do you remember that as a kid? Lots of little people inside a person's brain making it work. Herman's head for American.
Turning a wheel.
Yeah.
To
I've
move
said
it.
to you
Go on.
though, well, how do you know which one's in charge? Because my brain was quite happy doing that book, but my ears got bored.
Make a note of that, someone. If you're listening, make a note of that. The brain was quite happy working on the book, but the ears got
No, the way
bored.
I see it is your brain is like the adult.
The
Your
what?
The adult.
Oh,
In
I
you.
thought you said adult.
And your ears and your eyes are like the kids, and they get bored quicker. And the brain's
Carl,
quite happy.
This doesn't work at all as a metaphor on any level. Biologically, philosophically.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work at all.
It does, because your brain does the thinking. Now, if I have earplugs in,
Yeah.
my brain can think better without the ears.
Yes, because there's nothing to put it off. It's concentrating. That's a distraction.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Your ears are just receptacles.
Hear him,
They're-
hear him out.
Yes.
Hear him
Go on.
out.
So if your ears can't do their job, it's like a well-behaved kid. It sits there. It's quite happy. It's not interested in what's going on around it. Take the earplugs out, they go mental. What's that noise? What noise? Go and have a look. Eyes, go and have a look.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the ramblings of a maniac.
Can you tell your brain to tell your mouth to talk some sense?
Well, which order would you say it works in?
Well, it's all working at the same time, isn't it?
No, but your brain's at the beginning of the... If it was a circuit, your brain's at the beginning.
No, necessarily. Not with hearing something. Your ears come first, but they're passive. Your ears are merely receptacles for sound, right? They're a conduit to the brain. So hearing is only thought. Hearing isn't the airwaves hitting your eardrum.
You can't block it out.
No, what I'm saying is that's a passive thing. Your fingers, when it touches something, it's your brain that develops that information. Your fingers aren't going, oh, I recognise that, it's a piece of cheese. It just touches it and your brain recognises it. It's all done in the brain. No, not convinced?
I'm just...
That information
all-
is still being worked on by the brain. you know.
All I can do is tell you the way I work, and I know if I'm sat in a quiet place...
No, Carl.
With nothing
No,
around
you
me.
can't tell me the way your brain works.
My ears get bored.
That makes no sense at all.
I'm telling you, if I'm in a quiet place, my
Right.
brain is happier. It can focus on what it's doing. The ears almost go, there's nought to hear here, call it a day. The eyes,
No, they
the
don't.
eyes are going, well, there's nought to see outside. Just chill out. Whereas if there's a noise outside, if it's a noisy street, everything's kicking in. My brain's getting annoyed. My ears are going, what's that racket? My eyes are thinking, oh, what was that scream? What's happened?
What's your nose doing?
Why is your eyes thinking, what's the scream?
What?
Why are your eyes getting concerned with noise?
He wants to see what the ears have heard.
Cure, Lullaby, on NME Radio, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, straight after your holiday, you got home, and then came out to visit me in Boston on the set of my film I was doing.
Mm.
How was that?
Well, I didn't want to do it, did I? He called up and said, "Do you want to come out?" And
Do
I
a favour for me. Ricky said, "Can you do a favour for me?" You thought no.
Well, no, I didn't just go no. I sort of said, "What is it?" And he said, "Oh, well, you can just have a part." And he's like, "What's the point, though? I'm not an actor. I can't act. What's the point? It's a long way to go." So anyway, he said, "All right, don't bother." Then a week later, calls back and he says, "Bring Suzanne with you if you want." Oh, holiday. So I thought, yeah, I could treat Suzanne to that.
I thought a little part for him. They'd probably pay 2 flights.
Yeah.
You know, she's coming out. I thought, share it with friends. I was
a generous guy.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, she'll love that. That'll get me in a good book. So I said, listen, we're going to Boston. She goes, right. Anyway, Ricky books the tickets and that. She can't get time off because we'd just been in Menorca. So they said, hang on, you've just had a week off. You can't go anywhere. So I had to go on my own, right? Which, you know, fair enough. I'd said I'd go by that point. It'd all been booked. The costume that I needed for the film bit had been made. I couldn't get out of it. I was in too deep. Anyway, go there. Boston isn't worth seeing.
Oh.
I mean, you're talking about travelling the world and, you know, opening your eyes and seeing new things. There's nothing to see in Boston. It's Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. There's nothing else, is there? I'm not being unfair there. I mean, it looks nice. There's nice buildings.
You mean there's not a museum of the weird?
There's, they had something to do with tea bags, didn't they? That I told
No, it's the Boston
hotel.
Tea Party. It wasn't nothing to do with tea bags. It was the Boston Tea Party. That one of the founding events of America.
Yeah, I know,
It wasn't something to do with tea bags.
So other than that,
it wasn't chimps. There was no chimps involved in the Boston Tea Party.
For me, I went out for a walk on 2 of the days when I wasn't having to work. And
yeah, only worked for 1 day.
Well,
got 3 days free, 4 days in a hotel, all paid for. 1 day's work. I mean, it really is ungrateful.
So anyway, Steve, I dressed up as a caveman in some old animal stuff, which you thought, well,
this was for the film, was it? This wasn't just your natural.
Yeah.
So can I just say, it was not real fur. I insisted there was no real fur.
Well,
used.
you say that.
Yeah.
I get back, right, I'm run down because I didn't sleep when I was out there. I'm not very good. If Suzanne's not in the bed, there's something, it's like I feel,
What, she's got to be there to tell you to sleep? Close your eyes now, Carl.
It just...
Now, and our ears, stop listening.
Listen to my words. Stop, sleep now, ears.
So anyway, so I wasn't sleeping, so I was there for 4 days or whatever. I must have had about 3 hours.
One real day's work filming, and he was shattered.
Really.
He was absolutely shattered. He was weak. He was ill for a week afterwards. I did like 35 days, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, but you were sleeping. If you don't sleep, it's basic sort of biology, that. If you don't sleep, you get run down. Sloths never get a flu. Because it's good, isn't it? That's when your body's replenishing.
Stop. Can we just go over that way? Replenishing.
What is it then?
I'm gonna burst. Sloths never get flu because that's when your body's replenishing.
So the thing is, I'm bound to get ill. So you know what it's like. You're always like got a cold and that.
Oh, he's dissing you. Everything's
what's it got to do with
I'm just saying because you're a bit of a sickly child, so you don't
Oh, jeez!
I'm only
gonna go at the looks and then
only because I'm trying to get him on my side. So anyway, so I'm shattered. I get back, so I think it's a bit weird that this isn't shaking off. And there was some news report about how there's some serious illnesses in planes because stuff goes out the engine and into the.
Oh yeah, it's people from all over the world with all different things.
Yeah,
all
so I'm thinking, oh, what have I got? You know, it's my luck, innit? So I go to the doctors.
The doctor said, well, you've done a whole day's work, you're not used to that, your body's shut down.
So he said,
you better have a holiday.
Yeah, you need, this is when your body needs replenishing. And I am a doctor, and I know replenishment is one of the best,
Replenishization.
So
replenishization is one of the best things for sloths.
So I said to him, I said, look, I'm not one to moan, I hardly go to see him.
He went, oh, you.
I hardly see him. I hardly see this fella. So I said, look, I can't shake this cold off. I woke up the other night shaking. And he said, oh, virus. Right? So,
which isn't scary at all, because everything, you know.
well, there's some dodgy virus, isn't
Well,
there?
yeah, but there's some.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, well,
that's
of course, it's
why
a
I was.
virus.
Yeah.
What else would it? What else would it be?
I don't know. Not a doctor. So I said, oh, when's it going to go? And he said, oh, might be 2 weeks, this one. Seems like a bad one. Quite clammy, he said. So I said, yeah, I feel a bit clammy, yeah. And he said, yeah, you will do. So anyway, so I felt happy about that, and I'm more confident with the doctor, because, you know, you've got your vest off and all that, so you think, why not just let him do a bit of a body check? So I said, doctor, whilst I'm here, I think I've got some eczema on my leg. And he goes, let's have a look. And I said, there it is there. And he said, that's not eczema. So you've got a touch of ringworm.
Blimey.
Right? So straight away, anything with a worm in it, you're going, you know what?
Yeah.
It makes it sound worse, doesn't it? I was thinking like tapeworm and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going, yeah, ringworm, and he saw me panic, and he went, don't worry.
You
it's not-
pictured a worm with a giant mechanical arm crawling up
he,
your back.
he could see by my face I was a little bit like, I've got a worm in my leg. He's going, don't worry, it's not a worm. And I said, how have I got that then? And I reckon it's from this bear suit that I had
It
to
wasn't.
wear.
It was. Well, it was
It's a
fake
little bit
fur.
weird that I had
No, it was
bare
because you were
boots on. I had bare boots on,
Yeah.
and where the bare boot was, I ended up with ringworm on my
Do
leg.
you know why it's where it was? Because the only bit of your leg showing, because you had bare boots on, fake fur, with a fake fur tunic, and the only bit showing was your shin. You were walking around in long grass. You got it from the grass.
Well, no, because I said to him, because I wanted to wear the words bear suit from him. I said, where
What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
I said, where...
Doctor, what might I got this from? And then you just shut up and waited for him to say
I said,
bear suit.
it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I said, I thought that died out with rickets, right? Because I'd never heard of ringworm since I was a kid. I remember some dirty kid had it at school, and my mum sort of said, don't go near him. So, I said, ringworm then, doctor. Where have I got that from? Thinking he'd say...
Have you been wearing a bear suit?
Yeah. Anyway, he said, well, he says gay people get it.
What? Yeah. No, he didn't.
He did.
Why did he say that to you?
Well, this is what he said. He said gay people. I said, right, tick that off. He said, wrestlers.
Why do wrestlers get it?
And I said, I don't understand the connection. I said, I don't know, you know, any gays, I don't know any wrestlers. And he went, well, it's the body, skin rubbing.
Well, why do only gay people get it then? Why don't heterosexual people get it?
Don't know. Didn't quiz him. But then he said, what about...
Did the doctor really say to you, gay people get it?
He might have said, like, homosexuals.
Does this doctor operate from a park bench somewhere?
Sorry!
Does he have a lot of carrier bags with him?
Why would his first thing be ringworm, gay people get it?
So yeah, I said not gay, I said, I don't know any wrestlers. That's a fact. And then he said, have you stroked any bald pets?
Any bald pets?
Bald. He said, have you stroked anything with hair missing? Bald.
Just yourself?
And, I said, I can't remember. And I couldn't be bothered.
Was this, sorry, were these all euphemisms? Like, wrestlers get it, wink, do they? Yeah. You stroked the, little bald hairless thing? No, doctor. Okay, gay people get it. Look, are you gay? Are you gay? I'm gay. I'm gay. I want to stroke someone bald.
So I didn't want to get into the bear suit thing, because then he'd be thinking, what's he doing?
No, you've got it.
So wait. So he had a list of he's reading this off a list, was he?
No, he did it from his head. He knew it already. He didn't have to look at a form or anything. He went ringworm. He's obviously had a few people in there who have had it, and they've gone, ringworm? That's a bit weird. Where have I got that from? And he knew straight away.
So he's had 3 people in there with ringworm.
Popular.
One of them was a wrestler, one of them had a shaved dog, and one of them was a homosexualist. Is this the same doctor who
told me that my nerves were too short for my body?
Yeah.
Different fella. So yeah, ringworm I got from my time in Boston.
Well, that was a heck of a story. I'm beginning to wonder if the reason Suzanne didn't go with you on that trip was not to do with work obligations.
Your iPod, you've downloaded it, maybe?
It's a test transmission.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a test transmission. Testing.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, then it's working.
Who are you?
I'm Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that little bald-headed mank twat chimp over there?
It's me, innit? Alright.
Yeah, well, we need your name, don't we?
Carl is.
Telling you, I was talking to you earlier about going to Vietnam, and I'm not good
I mean, although I like to travel, as you know, I like to go to exotic places. This is going to come as a surprise to you, Rick, but I do look very English when I'm abroad. Obviously I'm 6'7". I'm quite pasty and white, and I find it very hard to blend in with, say, Vietnamese people.
Sure.
But this time I thought I'd embrace this, and I've brought you something as to show you. It's not really going to be very helpful on the NME radio, but I decided to wear a hat. I thought I'd buy a hat. And wear a hat. And I thought that I bought this last minute as I was just, before I got on the plane, I was doing some shopping. I thought, I need to, you know, because you can.
You think it'd be something like from a Graham Greene novel.
Right, exactly.
They'd go, they call him the Englishman.
Exactly.
He's the wisest and, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, because you can kind of reinvent yourself when you're abroad in some way, can't you, you know?
Yeah.
And, so this is the hat I got.
Christ.
Maybe you should look away for a second, I'll put it on and then you can, Now, bear in mind, it is a bit battered because it's been in bags and stuff.
Sure. Steve, what are you thinking? Right.
No, it is a bit battered and damaged, I
Right,
admit.
okay, how can I, it looks like a cross between something Miss Marple would wear.
That's nonsense!
No, it does, it looks a bit like that. And there's a beer with a bloke drinking, what's that called, Moretti beer?
I think you're thinking of the Hofmeister bear.
No, I'm not. It looks like Miss Marple's hat.
It doesn't look like Miss Marple's hat. It's kind of moddy, isn't it?
It's not. It's a tweed thing that comes down that an old lady would wear.
Tweed.
It was a librarian lady would wear in the 1930s.
It's not tweed.
I have never seen it. That you didn't really buy that, did you, to wear?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Right. Can I take a picture of this and I'll put it on my website? Right, I am now taping this on a camcorder. I will put this up on rickygervais.com.
I disagree. I think this genuinely looks good. I think it makes me look a bit like, say, Tom Waits or Farmer Barlow. The point is this, right? I'm wearing the hat, I'm looking good, okay? But people, obviously, they can sense that I'm a moneyed tourist. They can see how good I look, and they know I've got a little bit of money in my pocket, I can afford to buy hats, you know, and everything. So, obviously, I'm always a target for people trying to get money from me, stuff like that, which is always a hassle, isn't it? And I find it very difficult tipping when I'm abroad. I don't really understand what the rules are with tipping. And that's a big anxiety for me. And also, I have problems with the conversion, you know, because obviously when you go abroad. So, the Vietnamese dong. Come on, there's nothing funny about that. That's just what it's called, right? For $63 US, you can get 1 million dong. Right? That's a lot of dong. So, I'm packing, like...
A huge dong.
I got, like, you know, 2 million dong, like, in me money belt under my shirt. Right?
Yeah, so look at this image, right? You were wearing that hat and a bum bag.
Yes, but
You
no,
must look
I don't have a bum
pretty
bag. I have a money belt that I wear underneath the t-shirt.
Right.
So as not to see, you know, so people don't think I've got any money on me. And if I get mugged, I can just go, I've got any money on me. Because they would never think to look underneath the shirt and see the money belt, right?
Well, that's still out of reach, isn't it? Over there.
Yeah, and they are actually looking up your t-shirt.
Well, it's funny you should say that, right? Because I went to a market at one point just to look at the things that were for sale there. There's lots of eels and lots of fish and lots of other interesting items, right? So I'm looking at the market, I'm taking some photos, and I noticed this, I hear this kind of murmur, right, that's going around the market, and then I start to see them, all the people in the market, sort of pointing, right, and staring and talking at something, right? So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what it is, right? And I realise they're looking and pointing at me. I genuinely swear to God, right? So they start, and then...
Did they think one of the big eels had escaped?
Well, they started laughing.
Oh no.
They started openly pointing and laughing. One of them, right, started, like, I think he was a postman. He looked like he might be a Vietnamese postman. I don't know why that should make any difference, but he started doing a sort of lumbering, sort of Frankenstein walk. And pointing at me, right? A whole section of them just started cackling with laughter. And then at one point, a woman in one of those sort of Vietnamese lampshade hats, right? She runs up behind me, and she attaches to my back a sort of kick me thing that you would have attached to some nerd at school's back, right? She puts something like that on my back. I don't realise initially, so they're just chortling. They are weeping by now, and I'm talking like the whole market is in hysterics. And old ladies are coming up to me and just, you know, comparing their heights and then giggling, and then I'm sort of trying to get this thing off my back so I look like a dog, you know, chasing its tail. And I just realised that this entire marketplace was just openly laughing at me. And what angered me, Rick, was that I've spent a lot of time in this country, in the UK, right, building up a career,
right? So that people don't laugh at me, right? They respect me. They see me as a man of great accomplishments and achievements. I go to another country where
with that hat.
Exactly.
Walking around with those glasses with a little money belt on, maybe sandals.
Sandals with socks because I got a foot infection. And it turns out that they're just laughing at me. Just openly mocking and laughing at me, right? So I just genuinely, I got upset and I got
You threw down your cagoule, left your clogs behind, and got on the first plane back.
I hopped in a rickshaw straight back to the hotel where they do not laugh at me openly. But anyway, just to return to the dong issue, right? This is what worried me, was that, obviously you got a tip, so we had a driver for a few days, right? And you got to leave him a tip. And I never will feel a bit awkward, when do you give him the tip and everything, how does it work? And so I didn't know how much it should be, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's a poor country, I've had a driver a couple of days, you know, I haven't paid for the driver, so I give him like $20. Right, which is like 10 quid, you know, I'm thinking that seems like a good tip. I get in there, I read in the guidebook, I should have only given him $2. I gave him 20. Well, now, because A, you don't want to upset the precious equilibrium. You don't want to upset the financial equilibrium because he might have gone berserk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $20 is a lot to him. He might have left his family, you know, bought a different, you know, corrugated iron shack somewhere else.
Turned up with a hat like yours and said,
exactly, we're mates now, aren't we?
We're mates now, let's go back to England.
Let's pick up some ladies. So I was a bit worried, so I was thinking of asking for the money, you know, for some change, but I didn't think that was appropriate. So, but then I was worried because then I was thinking, what if all the other drivers within his organisation find out that I've given him like $20? They're all going to be expecting a big tip.
Yeah.
So that was a big worry. But more than that, we'd also had a guide with us, so he was bound to find out how that thing is. Right, now I didn't have any dollars left. And I thought, well, I've given that guy 20, I've got to give the guide who's been talking English to us, showing us around, helping us out, I've got to give him
50.
even more. Right, I ended up giving him $1 million dong.
And how much is that?
$63. I tipped someone $1 million.
So he's a millionaire now?
Yeah, I made someone a millionaire through my generosity.
Well, so did I. He's sitting over there.
That's absolutely
But
right.
he doesn't want to give anything back. So I know how you feel, mate.
Old man, look at my life.
Neil Young, old man. Carl. Now, you know, traditionally at the zoo, they have to, dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or whatever.
What?
They have to dart it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker. It's a little vampire bug. Okay, it's about 3 centimetres long. What they do is they tie a piece of string around it. They let it go into the cage on the chimp. It sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing. They pull it back, and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions?
Because
Isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
is it
what
the same one? Say if there's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
Yeah,
1 beetle.
yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the.
I'll tell you why it annoys
the
me,
avenue
because
of questioning.
it annoys him.
the other concern is, that beetle, it might be enjoying, you know, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the.
One of the chimps, that's where it came from. So say if there's
Well, then they know, and they say, oh, this chimp's got AIDS, let's.
And what about the beetle?
What, you're saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there, it's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it, and all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what
Because
it likes.
this is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers, to me. They, you know, let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long did they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle, they get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle in the paper the other day.
Yeah.
About the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd looking thing. the bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of like Steve. I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people. It's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months. Been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months, and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate, and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of, like, desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway.
6 times at exactly the same moment.
Its feet go, apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I'd say, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's a hotline you can phone
come
up.
round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello, gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. It's dying for it, and they were saying they only live 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old. This one.
How could they tell that?
The problem is they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in the beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I
It
don't know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care
from.
so much about beetles all of a sudden?
only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
What do you mean its legs were going as well?
That's what they do. That shows signs of like it needs a woman. It's never had one before, which is weird. That's what I was going to say. It knew even though it didn't. And you're talking about me brain and my ears and all that. There's an example of how the beetle's not in charge. There's something else going on in its
Well,
body.
it's called instinct.
Yeah.
But that's true in a beetle, but it shouldn't be true in a human being.
But it is though, isn't it? Otherwise, how did the first baby survive? How are we here now? Because you look at babies and they're spoilt rotten. I'm sick of it, the way they don't do anything for ages. They wouldn't survive. A kangaroo comes out, it's hopping around in about 2 hours. Babies, they sit there for months.
So there's a very good reason for that. I've told you that.
It needs its mother. If
Yeah.
that was in a banana crate, it would have given up after about a week. What
No,
I'm
a
saying
couple
is,
of days. It would have died in a couple of days, probably.
yeah. Whereas this beetle, he didn't know the outcome. He didn't know if he's ever going to see this partner. Yet, even though he's been in this crate with bananas for 3.5 months, it still wants to have it away. Now, if I was that, I'd be like, I'm not in the mood anyway.
Why do you equate yourself with the Beatle? This is what I don't understand.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying how that's where nature's good, and I think the Beatles are better than us in a way.
We have got our brain, we've got our creativity, we've got our cognition, we've got all those things. That's our forte. That's where we kick in. Thought, introspection, art. I agree. Well, I could not live in a crate full of bananas for 2 and I admit that. I admit that if my mum had given birth to me and then dropped me immediately in a bin, I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
But I don't see your point. And I understand that Beatles can do that, and I can't. But do you know what? The Beatles, they couldn't have written and directed The Office. So let's call it even.
Hey, all this talk of the Beatles, right, has suggested to me, let's have some more music. Here's the Rolling Stones.
Oh! It doesn't work. Well, that's about it. This is a test transmission for the Enemy Radio. I've enjoyed it. I think Steve's had a blast. He's got his hat on.
Yeah, I'm as happy as Larry, mate. Just pleased that I've done it all for free. Yeah. Whereas Carl will be cashing a sweet, sweet check.
I know. It looked like looking after number one after all we've done for him.
I didn't even realise there was an opportunity to ask for money because I understood it to be a favour, so it didn't even occur to me to get my agent.
Always ask. Always ask.
No, because I'm doing it as a favour. If you said to me, can you come around and help me move house, I would do it. I would not presume you're going to pay me for it.
Debt of gratitude. See, one day maybe I'll need the Enemy. One day I'll call up the Enemy, just like you call up scientists and go, I've got a Beatle the size of a gerbil, they say, come round. I might call them up and I go, oh, what's the drummer from Dodgy doing? They go, come round.
But where does that debt of gratitude stop then? Because at what point do you say, well, I'll have some money, please? When I get a bill from British Gas, what will I do then? Will I just say redirect this to Enemy? Because a little debt of gratitude. Sammy Jacobs, the fellow who runs Enemy Radio, send the bill to him, please, British Gas, because he'll sort me out. No. He'll go, what are you talking about? That's not my bill. Sort it out yourself. And that's what I'm saying. The world moves on money. I make money to pay the bills. It's not for me. Sometimes I never see it. Doesn't even touch my hands. It goes in the bank, out the other way. Doesn't even stop. There's always people taking money off me for this, that and the other. And I'm not moaning about that. But all I'm saying is that's
well, I know this and that costs you money, but why are you paying for the other?
Business, innit? Alan Sugar he'd say you're mad, you two. He'd say you're stupid. What are you working for free? What is this? Charity? Well, it isn't. He'd sack you two. He'd say, Carl, you're hired.
I would love to see you on The Apprentice. What would Carl be like on The Apprentice?
Wow, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Well, firstly, he's not a team player.
He's not a team player. No, he'd just go out getting his own money and say and not share it with anyone. So that's number one.
Joking.
That's number one. 2, you wouldn't want to do it. You'd say, well, why am I doing it? For that, I've got bills to pay.
Do what?
What was that? Whatever he asked you to do.
No, it's a task, innit? And I wouldn't go on there.
Well,
anyway,
treat this is like a task.
Well, okay, here's a task right now. Last night on The Apprentice, they were doing interviews.
Oh, don't tell me anything, because I don't know who's in it. I won't.
All I'll say is that one of the interviewers says, and it's an old interviewing trick when you're working in business, they say, I've got a lovely luxury pen here, right? Here's a classic old Bic biro, right? Now you've got to sell that to me now, right? Sell it to me now. How would you sell it to me, right?
So this is a pen shop?
No, it's a test, right, to see how well you can sell something, okay?
Yeah, but
doesn't matter what it is. In this instance, it's a cheap pen, right?
No, but
send it to me. Tell me the virtues of that pen.
But
Go.
have you come to me or have I come to you?
No, what do you mean?
You're selling me that pen.
It's a task. You've got to show us how you would sell a pen to us. What's good about... Okay, tell me what's good about that pen.
Right, go. Sell me the pen. You're on my door, right? You're a pen seller.
So I've knocked on your door.
You've knocked on my door, you're selling me a pen.
All right.
Go.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm not interested. What you
you don't know what I'm selling yet.
Okay, well, what are you selling?
Don't get nasty.
I'm not getting nasty. I'm just saying, do you like to write much? Do you do much
writing?
I
do some writing, I'm a writer,
Yeah. Interesting. How do you do that?
Computer. Well, you said we're a processor, computer.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks very much, goodbye.
No, but hang on a minute. Just, do you ever use a pen?
Sometimes I use pens, yeah, but, I got loads of pens, thanks. I got a really nice pen here. Beautiful, classic.
Looks like an expensive fountain pen.
It's an expensive fountain pen. My grandfather gave it to me. It's
so that's quite a special pen. It sounds like, I mean, it is a lovely pen and everything, but the problem is, when you go out and about, there's a danger that you could lose that.
That is very true, but I mean, I don't really take pens.
Have you seen these, sir? Can I interest you in some
Just looks like a cheap, tatty old pen, mate.
Sometimes you just want a pen that does the job, and this pen does that job. Do you want to buy some?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, because I've just told you I've got a great pen. I've got a great pen already, and I don't see why I need that pen. It's cheap and it's tacky and it's
You're
no
saying
use
it's
to me.
cheap. Do you know how cheap?
How cheap is it?
Well, it depends how many you want.
Well, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I want 50 of them.
Yeah, I can do that.
What kind of
How
deal would
much?
you do for me?
£8.
£8 for 50 of those pens. I can get them for about a penny down the market.
Sorry, Carl, you're selling 50 pens for £8. How much do they cost you? Just want to make sure this is a good business venture for you, otherwise it's pointless. How much do they cost you to buy?
I got them really cheap.
But how much?
How much did I say you can have them for?
£8 for 50.
I paid £5 for 50. So
Really? Wait, this is. I'll have. Can I have them for £5 because I'm a mate?
you can have 25 for 50.
No, well, no. If you got 50 pence for £5,
I wouldn't do this as a living. Anyway, that's the thing.
Carl, can you get me 50 pence for £5 then?
50 pence for a £5.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, mate.
Well, no, I'm a mate. Just you don't want to make a profit out of me, do you?
It's not worth it. I'm trying to run a business here. I've got bills to pay.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to write something. I'm going to close the door in your face.
Alright, you don't want a pen.
No.
Fine. Sometimes you've got to know when to cut off and move on. And
So that's what
I
you'd
do.
say to Sir Alan, is that you always give up? When someone says no, you give up?
I'll say I met him, he just wasn't having it, Sir Alan. So he didn't want any pens. If you don't want any pens, you're not going to buy him.
But you're a salesman, you've got to persuade me that I need a pen. Everyone needs pens.
But what are you saying about the other fellow that came out of well, just lurking behind him, but came out of the shower, and I went, oh, I'll have 50 pence for £5. What did you say to him? He said, not interested.
Yeah, 'cause it all got a bit dodgy. I don't know who this person was and that, and he just wanted him at the going rate. What sort of a businessman would it be? For me, to have got the pens for 50 quid, 50 pens for how much?
You're fired.
Stick it up your ass.
Well, I've enjoyed it, I must say. I've been Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl Pilkington. If you've enjoyed this drivel as much as me, which is unlikely, because, I mean, I like being in a room with no offence to you, Steve, but with a couple of freaks. None taken.
Sure, thanks.
If you have, we've got a little back catalogue, haven't we, Carl? We've done about, what was it, 24 of these?
Loads of them.
You can go to iTunes on a little audio book. Good value for money, isn't it? It's a couple of quid for hours of entertainment.
I tell you as well, if you love great music and as I say, informative chit chat, then Six Music is your destination. BBC Six Music, you can check that out every
Carl,
Sunday
anything to
afternoon.
plug?
Well, if you don't want to listen to the radio and you haven't got iTunes, go back to basics. Read a book.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but it will be.
Well, how are they going to read it then if it's not out yet?
Just saying it will.
Well, I'm
come out.
saying they can go to iTunes now and get the back catalogue, and they can go to Six Music this Sunday. So I don't know why you're saying
Well,
you might do a book. Well,
After they've done all that, in a couple of months, just nip down to a bookshop.
I'm not waiting a couple of months. What if they need to have it away?
Busy guy.
Like the Beatle. You wouldn't say to the Beatle, oh, it's alright.
Alright, well, there's another book out there as well that I did last year.
Right.
I would presume as well, is the NME radio going to be on at some point?
Just check the NME for details.